Tuesday, March 23rd, 2020, Massachusetts governor has an announcement to shut down the city because of COVID-19. That was including the SEC, my college. I had to deal with a great stress in my life. My husband told me to go grocery shopping, to buy food that would last for months. I was stocking dry food to eat for the future and eating the fresh foods first. I had to go get food that I didn't like, but what would help us survive in the time that we couldn't find meat to eat. There were bags of beans, and I couldn't imagine myself eating only beans and rice. I don't know how to combine beans with my traditional food that I like. I didn't really have many choices because of the supermarket shelves were empty. I was thinking, are we in an apocalypse? I was also thinking about the scene in The Walking Dead where they must fight for food and fight to survive. I was praying that wouldn't happen to my life. Stocking a lot of food didn't make us less paranoid. It made things worse. We were worried that someone would come to our house and rob us. People weren't just stocking food. Things like masks, alcohol, and toilet paper were also running out of stock. My husband and I were anxious and came along with depression from all the stress situation that many people have lost their job. Are we going to be one of them? How are we going to live if we lost our jobs? I stopped watching the news because I realized that stress is slowing my dream. I didn't just work at school as an ACE mentor. All my school courses got moved online.
PSD, so file save.
It was very stressful. I almost withdrew out of my courses for spring semester because I had to work and study via online. However, I decided only to let go one of my courses to save the grade of the others. After the school semester was over, I had a lot of time to relax by watching Thai comedy show and playing game with my cousin who lives in Thailand. Animal Crossing allowed us to fly to a friend's home in the game. I would fly to her islands every day. I wish I could do this in real life. This game makes me feel like I really went back to Thailand because I got to hang out with my cousin in the game like when I was in Thailand. We would get to hang out all the time. I even tried to teach Thai to my husband because we have been inside the house together 24/7 for over 3 months. And it looked like it's going to stay that way. ตื่นได้แล้ว I told my husband to wake up in Thai at one day in the afternoon, and he replied,
My turn.
which means, don't want to, back to me. That's proof that I success at teaching my husband to speak Thai, even though after he woke up, he couldn't remember what he said. COVID gave me a lot of time to teach my husband to learn Thai. It seemed like we got used to a new normal life under the COVID situation. But COVID situation is like riding a roller coaster. It has a scary moment, calm moment, and then a release part. One morning when I was about to get up, my husband staying up all night and came to tell me to pack up all of our important stuff, that we have to be ready to leave our house any moment. I was like, what the heck is going on? He said,
People are protesting in the US everywhere.
a city in Minnesota got burned down. At first I thought it was because of something that related to the COVID situation, that too many people lost their job and came out to protest the government. But then I saw the video clip of a white cop killing George Floyd, a black man. The US has protests everywhere, including in Boston and the city I live in Somerville. It made my husband and our family worry that protests will get worse and affect us where we live. This protesting made me think of the protest in Thailand 8 years ago. That's what happened while I was dealing with my document to come to the US. The protests got really bad, burning and shooting everywhere around the city. Many stores had to close because they were afraid of protesters attacking them. I had to travel past the protesters for my visa in Twill. It was scary, but I had to do it. However, the difference is, in the US, I have the choice to not go out when they protest, but I couldn't stop thinking if a civil war would happen at this time. The COVID situation in the US made me think about going back to Thailand. But what about my dream? It's so difficult to find a job in Thailand too. Many people in Thailand had lost their job as well. หิวยัง? I asked my husband. Hungry yet? He said,
My Hugh.
mean not hungry in the evening. I always get hungry and I eat every 3 hours, but my husband sometimes only eats once a day. When I miss Thailand and my family, I will go to the Cambodian supermarket in Revere because they have sesame balls made fresh daily and green mango with dipping spices. That remind me of the ones I used to eat when I was in Thailand. They have a lot of product from Thailand. When I went there, it made me feel like I went back to Thailand for real. Thanks God, this place kept me alive in the US. I always buy a lot of groceries from there and learn to cook from my mom's cookbooks that she gave to me when I first came to the US. I miss her so much. COVID made the version of my goal become more solid. I knew that what I wanted for my future. I will finish my degree, find a job, and find the connections for software engineer work. Then I will move back to Thailand and open a company that does work for a US company. We will get to live our life better by using the US dollars to feed ourselves, and I will get to live close to my family again.